is really good. She has great stamina. She can play, you know, we've seen her, was it Eala last year where she played a really good match, and she's starting to feel she's on, how old is she now? 19?
20, I believe.
20. She's still very young, but we see the mental growth as well.
Has made her opinion crystal clear when it comes to Ayala. She sent a strong message across the tennis world, saying without hesitation that Ayala currently owns the best technique in the entire WTA. That is not a small compliment coming from a former champion. Clijsters explained that Ayala's style makes opponents uneasy from the very first rally. It is the way she moves, the way she sets up points, and the way she controls space on the court that creates constant pressure. One major factor, Clijsters pointed out, is that Ayala is a natural left-hander. That single detail changes the geometry of the match. The court opens up differently. The angles are sharper and less familiar. Opponents struggle to predict where the ball will go because the patterns feel unusual compared to facing a right-handed player. On top of that, Ayala's backhand is not just steady, it is aggressive. She uses it to attack more than most players on tour, and it has become her most reliable and dangerous weapon. Clijsters broke down exactly how this works during a rally. Ayala drives her backhand deep enough to force her opponent behind the baseline. Once pushed back, the opponent often replies with their own backhand. That is when the opportunity appears. With the court now open, Ayala places her next shot into empty space. The opponent is left running and reaching, trying to stay alive in the point. According to Clijsters, this pattern of making players chase again and again eventually breaks them down. So far, no one has consistently figured out how to shut it down or counter it effectively. She also highlighted Ayala's stamina and footwork. Those two qualities allow her to dictate matches from the first game to the last. Ayala has already proven this in high-pressure matches, including her performance against Iga Swiatek at the Miami Open. Clijsters said it is not only her physical strength and youth that stand out. Ayala has matured mentally as well. She now shows the composure needed to compete with top-tier players like Iga and other elite names who test every part of a competitor's skill set.
Well, there's a lot of things that she does really well, and I think there's a lot of things that make her opponents feel very uncomfortable. One of the things that she can't control is that she's a left-hander, and so there's always something about playing a left-hander that you get pulled out of the court a little bit differently. She can, with her forehand cross-court, her forehand is really good, but I think her backhand is better. Her backhand is a little bit more of an aggressive.
Clijsters also gave credit to the environment that helped shape Ayala's career. She mentioned the Rafael Nadal Academy, where Ayala spent important years developing her game. That academy is known for its strict standards and demanding training. Clijsters believes that being part of such a serious system played a key role in her growth. She stressed that Ayala's rise in the WTA is not luck, it is the result of steady work over many years. Long practices, discipline, and focus built the foundation for her current success. That constant dedication explains why she continues to improve. However, Clijsters added an important reminder. Even though Ayala is performing at an extremely high level right now, her team must continue to guide and protect her. Managing expectations and outside pressure is just as important as training on the court.
Work, you are respectful, you are, and she's been around that environment, and I think there's no coincidence that she has the results that she has. But I think it's going to be very important for her to be a little bit protected from the craziness that comes with that.
One technical detail stood out most in Clijsters' analysis. She emphasized Ayala's ability to switch instantly from defense to attack. In 1 second, Ayala may look pushed back. In the next, she steps in and takes control of the rally. That quick change makes her hard to read and even harder to stop. Despite her young age, Ayala has already built a strong presence on court. She plays with authority and belief, and that confidence looks permanent rather than temporary. The story grew even bigger when Novak Djokovic entered the conversation. He openly called Alex Ayala the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced. He said she deserves full respect from the sport and proper recognition for what she is achieving. Djokovic also spoke about how she has been scheduled and placed on courts at different tournaments. He suggested that the way those decisions were handled did not always reflect her true status or her ability to attract large crowds. When Djokovic speaks so directly, people across the tennis world pay attention.
Week after week, as she, has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour, they all come out to support her. And so I think we saw that in Australia when it was kind of overcrowded. They put her on too small of a.
It is not just legends sharing strong opinions. Current players are speaking up as well. Jessica Pegula described her experience facing Ayala at the Miami Open, and her words painted a powerful picture. She talked about the energy inside the stadium. The crowd was massive, loud, and fully engaged in every point. Pegula called it insane, but she meant that in a positive way. She was impressed, not frustrated. She understood she was part of something rare in that moment. Pegula also noted that this level of support follows Ayala everywhere. From Miami to the Australian Open to Dubai, she regularly draws some of the biggest audiences on tour. Fans travel long distances to see her. They wait in long lines just to enter the venue. That type of connection with spectators is unusual, especially for someone at this stage of her career. And the key point is this: the attention is natural. It is not forced by marketing. It comes from her talent, her character, and the story behind her rise. When Clijsters said Ayala's technique is the best in the WTA, she was pointing to clear evidence. Anyone who has watched her over the last year can see it. At last year's Miami Open, Ayala faced some of the sport's biggest names and handled herself with maturity and technical sharpness. This year, at events like Dubai and the Abu Dhabi Open, she continued building on that level. Her performance is not a short-term surge, it is consistent progress. Clijsters is not making predictions, she is describing what is happening right now, a player whose technique stands out above the rest. Djokovic labeled her the greatest the Philippines has ever produced and insisted she deserves the stage that matches her drawing power. Pegula spoke about an atmosphere around her that surprised even a seasoned professional. The crowds keep growing, the praise from legends continues, and Alex Ayala keeps delivering performances that make all of it feel fully earned. Now the question shifts to you. Clijsters believes Ayala has the best technique in the WTA. Djokovic calls her the greatest the Philippines has ever produced. Pegula says the atmosphere around her is unlike anything she has experienced before. Do you agree? Is her backhand the most dangerous shot in women's tennis right now? And how far can she take this momentum? Share your opinion. We want to know exactly where you stand.